Thank you. Does North Carolina have a new so-called bathroom bill on its hands? You remember all the boycotts back in 2016. Well, a similar bill is now making its way through the legislature right now, and it falls in line with language used by the White House. WRAL's Carly Haynes heard from supporters, opponents, and former Governor Pat McCrory.
The bill would impact bathrooms at some state buildings, including detention facilities, domestic violence shelters, and public schools and universities, like right here at NC State. The bill also re-sparks conversations about how far these impacts could actually go. Legislation that would directly affect college campuses started here. Senate Bill 516 would restrict bathrooms to, quote, one biological sex at a time at some state buildings. There are exceptions, like if someone's alone.
I'm disappointed and I'm angry, of course.
Susie Silver, with cultural consultant group The Diversity Movement, said this targets the transgender community.
It's distracting. It is distracting from what we really hope and want to and should be focusing on.
A bill sponsor and a spokesperson for the Senate leader both declined WRAL's request for comment. We spoke with former Governor Pat McCrory.
Public sentiment has changed drastically on this issue, especially with regards to privacy for women and girls in locker rooms.
McCrory led the state when House Republicans filed House Bill 2, a similar bill, though then the law also applied to some businesses. Before it was repealed, the so-called bathroom bill caused some businesses to scrap expansion plans and tournaments to relocate to other states. McCrory doesn't expect that same pushback again. He says times are different now.
I think corporate America is also learning they need to stay out of social issues and let individuals debate those issues on their own.
Tuesday's bill is the latest effort as states around the country file similar bills. Now, McCrory says he hasn't read the bill in detail and isn't making a judgment on it at this time. The bill also echoes language used in some of President Trump's executive orders. Carly Haynes, WRAL News, Raleigh.
Thank you to Carly. Let's take a moment, though, and go a little bit more in depth on this subject for just a minute. So how similar and how different is this new bathroom bill from HB 2 in 2016? First, we'll talk about the similarities. So HB 2 said, public agencies shall require every multiple occupancy bathroom to be designated for and only used by persons based on their biological sex. Well, then you have this new Senate bill. It says a single or multiple occupancy restroom in this state shall only be used by one designated biological sex at one time. So yes, a little technical there, but the general rule is virtually the same. But there are some important differences, like where the rule applies. Now, HB 2 was mostly focused on public schools and public agencies. Today's bill, though, covers all kinds of places, including institutions that receive any government funding, like domestic violence shelters. Then there's how the bill defines biological sex. They each take a different approach. HB 2 defined it as whatever appears on the person's birth certificate. The definition in today's bill, though, is much more involved, talking about chromosomes, hormones, reproductive organs. But the new bill does mention birth certificates. It would change state law, making it so people who get gender reassignment surgery cannot change the sex on their birth certificate. It also makes it so a driver's license can only include the sex that's found on that driver's birth certificate. HB 2 didn't tackle any of that. HB 2 was the first so-called bathroom bill, and it led to boycotts against North Carolina, as the package was discussing there. But this time around, a boycott does seem less likely. Since 2016, 17 states have passed their own versions of a bathroom bill. South Dakota passed theirs just last week. Wyoming's passed the week before that. Lawsuits were filed against the ones in Florida, Idaho, Oklahoma, and Tennessee, but all those other ones in all those other states, their bathroom bills did eventually become law. And when you look at the balance of power in North Carolina, it seems pretty possible ours will become law too. Let me know what you think about this story. Email dan@WRAL.com. Are you on board with the new bathroom bill, or are you against it? Are you somewhere in between? Is there some nuance there? Tell me what is on your mind, and we will go in depth.
23andMe has been